Disclaimer: this story is based on a real experience that happened to me. Please do not imitate the actions I took during this situation. Every dangerous or suspicious encounter is different, and the safest thing to do is to immediately seek help from trusted adults, security personnel, or the authorities. My decisions during this incident were made in the heat of the moment and should not be considered professional advice. Viewer discretion is advised, as this story may contain themes that some people may find disturbing or uncomfortable. Please prioritize your own safety and well-being at all times. Okay, starting this video about me getting followed by a strange man. Technically, I was with my friends, but we were followed. It all started on a normal afternoon. Me and two of my friends visited another friend of ours. Me, Echo, Ava, and Zane. So me, Echo, and Zane came to the conclusion of visiting Ava, since Ava had just come back to our country. So of course, we did some catching up. We ate and had soft drinks. We were living the dream out here. Yeah, it was also hot because we were outside at a convenience store and it was a sunny day, so yeah, it still made it worth it. Although I was uncomfortable because of the heat, my friends were there, so you gotta make this worth it. Almost having a heat stroke at the moment. Ahem. So, after 30 minutes at the convenience store, we ultimately suggested that we go to a mall, which was 1.6 kilometers away, so we walked. By that time, the heat was long gone, and light winds had replaced it. We risked walking without an umbrella because it looked like it might rain with those winds, but thankfully it didn't, and we arrived at the mall safely. As the story proceeds, we toured Ava around the mall again since a lot had changed. New stores, new food places, and mostly available spaces because the rent is probably high, and we have 2 more malls in that city. Yay, more. As we continued to walk, we ultimately got tired and decided to sit outside in the promenade. For your information, this mall has an outside garden or promenade, so we ultimately sat down on a nearby bench that was 2 by 2 and had a roof in case it rained because it was generally cloudy, not seeing the heat much, and it was windy. But yeah, we were there for like 1.5 hours. We played games, filmed TikToks, and just talked about the future and how we were doing. While we were playing, this man suddenly came up to me. He had a phone, and on it was a translated message that said, "Hello, can I sit here? I don't want to be lonely, and I need some company." I was weirded out, but because I'm me, I decided to let him sit and looked at my friends. Ava was preparing to stand up and just leave, but me talking to that weird man, I was like, let me hear about it because I was curious. I asked him, if you are lonely or need company, then go ask mall security for help. He immediately stopped me and said, no, security, don't tell them, please. Don't tell the security or police what I did. A sudden spark in my mind said, dude, get your friends out of here. So I told Zane, since he was beside me, Zane, go now. Zane decided to leave and brought the other 2 friends out while I was the last to follow them because, dude, I let this man sit here. I told him, don't follow us here or outside. He was genuinely, I think, panicking, and he was trying to type because he couldn't speak English. He only had a translator. I used that moment to walk away and run to my friends. By the time I arrived, they were already talking to the guard, and I was like, good. I explained everything to the mall security. At the time, I was still in serious mode, not showing any fear, keeping my posture upright, and my adrenaline was still rushing. Somehow, the stalker found us. Zane and Echo told the guard that the stalker was the person coming toward us, while Ava was just quiet, not gonna lie. The weird, strange person came up to me, and the mall security guard started to radio for backup and tried to distance me from that man. The man was speaking gibberish, asking for forgiveness and such. So I pitched in and told my friends, record me in case anything happens. At the time, my mind was full of energy, and it was negative energy. I mean that I had a lot of complicated problems or personal problems that I hadn't solved yet. One thought came to my mind, whatever this outcome may become, God, I give it all to you. Not knowing what could happen, I could have been punched or stabbed because, yeah, this mall isn't high security. Some people can bring hostile items into the mall without getting caught. So yeah, I was basically terrified, but my mind's goal was to protect them and not let them get hurt. As I was talking to this man, I asked why he did that. He said he felt bad because he and his friend had gotten into a fight and he was lonely and wanted company. But bro, we were low-key terrified. Why us? I told him, dude, we were terrified because you told us not to tell security or the cops. We interpreted it as if you had committed something. Bruh, I am here talking to you because you brought trauma to my group when we were just trying to have fun because Ava was back. Ahem. As I continued arguing with that strange man, 3 security guards showed up as backup. I was genuinely relieved after seeing them come as backup in case anything happened. Thankfully, we came to an agreement that after this talk, the strange man would never go near me or my friends again. As we exited the mall, I told them, walk fast and go. I looked behind, and he wasn't there. We walked, and 5 minutes later, much farther away, we realized we weren't being followed. So, I was basically relieved. I let them go first while I stayed behind to make sure they were safe. We arrived back at the convenience store, and we told our parents what had happened. Yeah, we were safe. Personally, I wasn't the type of person to stand up to strangers and put my life in jeopardy just to protect my friends, but this sudden surge of adrenaline kicked in, and I became so serious that I never thought I would do that. Not just because I wanted to protect them, but also because I was thinking about my personal problems. Basically, the sudden surge of energy I received came from my mental state because mentally I wasn't functioning well. I risked my own life without thinking about what could happen to me. I know this is kind of a serious and sensitive topic for my first video, but this clearly showed me and made me realize that throughout the whole process, God had protected me. God had more plans for me. So I am a proud believer of Christ, but I am still trying to survive the process of improving my mental state. God will heal me, but it will take time, and I will decide to follow the path He wants me to take. It really shows how a normal day can quickly turn into a stressful situation. Always trust your instincts, prioritize your safety, stay with your friends and parents, listen to your parents if they say something is unsafe, and never be afraid to ask for help when something feels suspicious or unsafe. Again, the events in this video are based on a real experience. Please do not copy the actions shown in this story. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, prioritize your safety and seek help from security personnel, trusted adults, or the authorities immediately. Thank you for listening to my first podcast as a Minecraft content creator, telling his own story while playing Minecraft in the background.